Are you still using cash? Why? Taco trucks around me are cash only. Literally came here to say cause I own a taco truck. Doing the Lord's work. Because the kid who mows my lawn doesn't have Venmo. The kid who comes to my door selling tamales does. Yum. I use cash at a farmer's market / flea markets because most of the stands don't have card readers. I get cash tips at work. I use it for lunch. I like cash cause my bank account doesn't know it exists. It's secret money. My bank account doesn't know it exists. My wife and I both love it when we get a hold of cash because it's off the books. The only people we are hiding it from is each other, but it doesn't count against our weekly personal spending budgets. I find it easier to control my spending if I use cash. This has been proven in studies before, that people spend more when they don't physically see the money leave their hands and decrease in value. Interesting, I'm the complete opposite. My brain goes, well, spending cash won't affect my bank account, so it's basically like not spending money. I use cash for transactions I'd rather there not be a financial paper trail for, like the second burger at a McDonald's and that kind of thing. I have an idiot brother-in-law that thought you could do that with credit cards. He was hiding his 6 to 8 times a week McDonald's habit from my sister and using the credit card. I don't think he is actually smart enough to hide the bills from her. I think they were just really disorganized at the time, but somehow she didn't see a bill for like 3 months. He also wasn't paying it off because they were flat broke at the time. She nearly killed him. You can't snort lines of Adderall through a Dogecoin. I use cash occasionally. Kids come to the door to shovel the walk, for example. My very rare purchase of lottery tickets. Tiny purchases, pack of gum, etc. When I buy lottery tickets I can't use my credit card at all. I don't carry a debit card. Same for the lottery terminal I operate. Cash or debit card, no credit cards or contactless. I'm guessing it's to prevent problem gamblers maximuming out their credit cards on lottery tickets. It could also be the fact that debit card merchant charges a flat fee per month, whereas credit cards take a cut of your sales. Informal transactions. Everybody takes cash. Dunno if it's still true, but there were a couple of small restaurants in town recently that wouldn't take cards. They would take a local check, and there was an ATM in the corner. They were small enough that they didn't want to take the hit on credit card merchant fees, and local enough that people accepted it. There's a place in DFW, one of the more popular restaurants, that is cash only. They've operated like that for 80+ years of being open, and have always kept doing it. It is one of the largest places I've ever seen in terms of a restaurant. Have an ATM inside, as well as option for check. My favorite restaurant in Pittsburgh, the Oyster House, is over 150 years old, and doesn't take cards. They have an ATM and a big sign at the entrance. Drugs and garage sales. You know how to party. In Germany 80% of transactions are still done in cash. Cafes looked at Northeast weird for having my card. It's about 70% in Japan. I was in Japan pre-COVID, but I was pretty taken aback that such a high-tech, fast-paced city like Tokyo seemed to use almost entirely cash. I don't get a prompt tip when I pay cash. TBH, this is the most attractive reason to use cash in this thread. Because the government be all up in my business. For all debts private and public. Why would you type the smiley face backwards, you freak? Everyone should have some emergency cash. Nobody in Russia thought their bank accounts would be locked out of SWIFT, but it happened. Yup, I have a cash stash I add to every so often, just in case. If nothing else, what if I lose my card, or it stops working? Where do you live exactly? 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, Australia. P. Shaman, reported for doxing. Just to buy weed. Yes, because it's anonymous. Also, my bank card doesn't work during a power outage, but my money does. Gulf Coast resident checking in. When Hurricane Ike fucked up my entire region for 3 weeks, it was pretty nice to have a coffee can of cash to dip into, and buy a hot meal, gasoline, fresh water, etc. Tornado hit and everyone has trees on their houses and blocking their driveways. Guys with chainsaws show up. One half the neighborhood only has credit cards. cards when the lines get fixed, or promise of insurance reimbursement. I have cash. Guess who gets help first? Never tamper with the emergency post-tornado chainsaw guys fund. What are you, a cop? Credit card processors go down. Some services only accept cash. Throwing actual cash at some problems makes them disappear quicker, less susceptible to getting information skimmed in sketchy or insecure unsecure locations. There are some transactions I don't want trails of. True that. What's particularly annoying is that, on the flip side, certain sellers are only accept card, especially since covered. Yes, harder to track and always available. Never need to worry about systems being down or power outages. Not to mention any small businesses are hurt by the fees of processing credit and debit cards. I'm in a better place now, but in my bad times I used cash as much as a good for the simple reason that a 20 in your wallet will be there until you spend it, while a 20 in your bank account is there until an overdraft fee or automatic payment, or whatever you forgot about hits. In the worst of the worst times I always took out enough cash on payday to buy gas and food for the next 2 weeks. Overdraft fees and autopays are the main reason I pay bills online manually. Takes longer, but I have control over when I pay the bills instead of a faceless entity yoinking money whenever it's convenient for them. Cash keeps money in the community. Every time a card I used there is a fee, and it could be on the buyer or seller's end. Those fees go to big corporations. Because I have it. Also because WTF should a third party need to be involved and paid for on every single transaction? Seriously, I'm sick of everything being more expensive, so I can use a card. It's like a tax, but for private profit. There's a trend starting in restaurants in my area, where they'll give you a discounted total if you pay with cash. It eases the irritation I feel about everything being more expensive, because the middleman takes his cut on credit payments. Thank you all for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and to have a great day.